1943, London. An MI5 officer examined a luxury chocolate bar, Peter's chocolate. Expensive. The kind given as gifts to important people. The kind Winston Churchill might receive. The kind he might unwrap and eat. But this chocolate would never be eaten, because it was not chocolate. It was a bomb. A Nazi assassination device so clever that it bypassed every security protocol. So innocent-looking that even trained guards would not suspect it. So perfectly engineered that opening the wrapper would trigger an explosion powerful enough to kill anyone nearby. This was Operation Chocolate Bomb, and it represented assassination engineering at its most ingenious. The concept emerged from Nazi intelligence, specifically Abwehr, German military intelligence. They faced a persistent problem. How do you assassinate heavily guarded targets? Churchill never traveled alone, always surrounded by security. Buildings were swept for bombs. Food was tested for poison. Packages were examined. Conventional assassination methods failed because security anticipated them. So Nazi engineers thought differently. What if the weapon did not look like a weapon? What if it looked like something completely innocent? Something desirable? Something people would want to possess? Something they would handle without suspicion? Chocolate. Luxury chocolate was perfect. Expensive Peter's chocolate bars were prestigious gifts. Important people exchanged them. They sat on desks, in offices, in homes. No one suspected chocolate. And most critically, security protocols did not include examining chocolate bars for explosives. The engineering challenge was enormous. Create a functional explosive device that looked exactly like a real chocolate bar. Same size, same weight, same packaging. Pass visual inspection. Pass casual handling. But explode when opened. Nazi engineers at Abwehr workshops developed an elegant solution. Take a steel tube slightly smaller than a chocolate bar. Fill it with plastic explosive. Attach a pressure-sensitive detonator. Coat the steel in a thin layer of real chocolate. Wrap it in authentic Peter's chocolate packaging. The result looked perfect. Felt slightly heavy, but within normal weight variation for chocolate. The wrapper was genuine Peter's paper. The chocolate coating smelled right. Unless you tried to bend it or bite it, nothing seemed wrong. But the genius was in the trigger mechanism. Opening a chocolate bar requires peeling back the wrapper. This creates a pulling motion. Nazi engineers designed a pressure release trigger. The wrapper's inner surface pressed against a spring-loaded pin. As long as pressure remained, the pin stayed depressed. When you peeled the wrapper, pressure released. The pin sprang up, completed an electrical circuit, detonated the explosive. The explosion timing was perfect. The moment you unwrapped the chocolate, when you held it close, when your face was near. Maximum lethality. The steel tube fragmented into shrapnel. The explosive force was concentrated, designed to kill the person opening it and anyone within several feet. The psychological aspect was brilliant. Chocolate is associated with pleasure, gifts, rewards. Nobody approaches chocolate with suspicion. The act of unwrapping is casual, unguarded. You smile while opening chocolate. You do not check for bombs. This cognitive bias made the weapon nearly undetectable. Abwehr planned to introduce chocolate bombs through multiple channels. German agents in neutral countries could send them as gifts, use false names, credible return addresses, mail them to Churchill's office, to his residence, to military headquarters. Some would be intercepted, but some might get through. Only needed one success. They also planned personal delivery. Agents posing as business people, diplomats, sympathizers, anyone with plausible reason to offer expensive chocolate as a gift. Security would examine the person, the credentials, but not the chocolate. The plan had one vulnerability. Someone had to discover it before it worked. If the first chocolate bomb reached Churchill and exploded, the method became known. But the target would be dead. Prevention required detection before first use. MI5 discovered the plot through a combination of luck and vigilance. A German defector provided intelligence about unusual Abwehr projects involving disguised explosives. MI5 investigated, cross-referenced with reports of suspicious gift packages intercepted in neutral countries. They recovered one chocolate bomb in Portugal, a package addressed to a British official. Routine inspection noted unusual weight. Further examination revealed the device. MI5 rushed it to London. Explosive experts carefully disassembled it, documented everything, understood the mechanism. The realization was terrifying. This device could penetrate any security. It looked completely innocent. The trigger was ingenious. If MI5 had not discovered it, Churchill would have been vulnerable. So would any important British official. Anyone who received gifts. Anyone who had chocolate on their desk. MI5 immediately implemented countermeasures. All chocolate received by important officials was to be examined, not just looked at, actually tested. Try to bend it. Proper chocolate bends. Steel tubes do not. Weigh it precisely. Check against known weights for that chocolate brand. X-ray suspicious packages. They also conducted awareness training. Security personnel learned about disguised explosive devices, understood that innocent-appearing objects could be weapons. The training emphasized, suspect everything, test everything, assume deception. But the chocolate bomb created a deeper problem. If chocolate could be a bomb, what else? Pens? Books? Clocks? Any everyday object could potentially contain explosives. This created paranoia. Security staff began suspecting everything, examining every object. The cognitive load was enormous. MI5, experts tried to identify patterns. What objects made good concealment? Chocolate worked because it was desirable, commonly gifted, and had plausible weight. Similar objects included wine bottles, cigar boxes, books, fountain pens, anything with legitimate reason to be heavy or solid. They developed general principles. Examine gifts carefully. Be suspicious of luxury items. Check weight against expectations. Use X-rays when possible. Never let important officials handle unsolicited gifts directly. Intermediaries should examine everything first. The chocolate bomb plot never succeeded. MI5's detection prevented it, but it influenced security thinking for decades. The realization that weapons could hide in plain sight, that innocent objects could kill, that deception was as dangerous as direct attack. Post-war analysis revealed the extent of Nazi disguised weapon programs. Chocolate bombs were one project among many. They also developed explosive coal, designed to look like real coal, but explode when shoveled into ship boilers. Explosive rats, real dead rats with explosives inside, meant to be placed in factory fuel supplies. Explosive fountain pens, explosive briefcases, explosive bottles. The pattern was consistent. Take an everyday object, hollow it out, insert explosives, make the exterior perfect, add a clever trigger, create something that bypasses suspicion through familiarity. Some of these devices were discovered, others may have succeeded without recognition. An unexplained explosion in a factory, a ship that mysteriously caught fire. How many were attributed to accidents when they were actually sabotage? We do not know. The chocolate bomb influenced post-war security culture. Airport security examines items, questions about who packed your bag, X-ray machines. All trace back to the realization that ordinary objects can conceal threats. The chocolate bomb was an early example of this principle. Modern terrorism adopted the concept. Shoe bombs, underwear bombs, printer cartridge bombs all follow the chocolate bomb logic. Hide explosives in something innocent, exploit security gaps, bet that familiarity creates blind spots. Security responses evolved. More invasive screening, random sampling, behavioral analysis. But the fundamental challenge remains. You cannot examine everything. At some point, security must accept risk, must allow some objects to pass uninspected. And that gap is where concealed weapons operate. The chocolate bomb represented asymmetric warfare. The attacker only needed one success. The defender had to prevent every attack. This asymmetry favored the attacker. One clever device could penetrate elaborate defenses. One moment of inattention could be fatal. Churchill survived the war. The chocolate bomb never reached him, but it revealed his vulnerability. No amount of security could guarantee safety if weapons could hide in innocent objects. The only true defense was intelligence, discovering plots before execution, intercepting devices before delivery. MI5 learned this lesson. They invested heavily in agent networks, infiltration, signal intelligence. The goal was not just to catch bombs, it was to learn about bomb designs before they were used, to stay ahead of assassination technology. This created an innovation race. Nazi engineers developed new concealment methods. MI5 developed new detection methods. Each side evolved. The chocolate bomb was sophisticated for 1943, but within a year, MI5 had protocols that would catch it. So Abwehr developed different devices, and MI5 adapted again. The race continues today. Explosive designers create new methods. Security develops new countermeasures. The fundamental dynamic has not changed, only the technology. So, when you think about the chocolate bomb, understand it as more than a clever gadget. It represented a shift in assassination methodology, from direct attack to deception, from obvious weapons to disguised devices, from relying on force to exploiting trust. The Nazis bet that people would not suspect chocolate, that familiarity would create vulnerability, that the appearance of innocence would bypass security. They were almost right. If MI5 had not discovered the plot, Churchill might have unwrapped a chocolate bar and died instantly. That is the lesson. Never assume something is harmless because it looks familiar. Deception relies on exploiting assumptions, on using expectations against you. The chocolate bomb worked because people expected chocolate to be chocolate. Breaking that assumption required conscious effort, required suspecting the innocent, required testing the obvious. Modern security incorporates this lesson, but it is difficult to maintain. Constant suspicion is exhausting. Examining everything is impossible. At some point, you must trust, must accept that some things are what they appear to be. And that acceptance is where concealed weapons find their opening. The chocolate bomb failed, but the concept succeeded. It proved that ordinary objects could be deadly, that deception could penetrate security, that innovation in concealment could overcome conventional defenses, and it reminded everyone that in warfare, nothing is as it seems, that the enemy will exploit every assumption, that the most dangerous weapons are often the ones you do not recognize as weapons until too late. Remember the chocolate bomb. Remember that it looked delicious, smelled right, felt plausible, but would have killed instantly. Remember that cleverness can be more dangerous than force, that deception can penetrate where direct attack fails, and perhaps remember to be just a little bit suspicious when someone offers you unexpected chocolate. Because the lesson of the chocolate bomb is that trust creates vulnerability, that familiarity breeds complacency, that the innocent appearance is sometimes the most deadly weapon of all.